Kitty, you want to come in? Come in? Come on. You gonna come in or not? Come on. Want to come in? All right. Not now.
Well, according to the app it is. I haven't looked out the window.
Till tomorrow, right?
No, it's supposed to,
Today?
there's a chance of rain tomorrow, then like for the next 7 days, it's supposed to be
Really
nice.
quickly, I obviously am late, so I said, oh, cool, there's parking in the front. Yeah,
It's underwater.
no,
I
I was gonna get off, I was like, oh, no, let me move it. Yeah, there's a reason that one's open. Now I figured it. Yeah. Yes, it is a problem.
All right, are we ready?
Yes. Yes.
Right. I will. call the meeting to order at 6:36. Do we need to make an
Just that
closed session?
reconvene after the meeting.
All right, we'll reconvene after the meeting into closed session. And Tammy, can you lead us in the pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Can we get roll call, please?
Yes. Division 1, Kim Gerald Johnson.
Here.
Division 2, Jose Luis Godinez.
Present.
Division 3, Tammy Rivas.
Here.
Division 4, Edgar Catalan.
Present.
Division 5, Ross Leisure.
Here,
Any presentations or recognitions
And
tonight?
then this evening, Mr. President.
Okay, any public comments?
No, I've not received any.
All right, would anyone wish to remove something from the consent calendar?
move to approve the consent calendar.
I said, I'll go ahead.
Second.
Just as a point of clarification, Director Johnson did note the goals we discussed at the last meeting. I inadvertently left off and I will attach those to the final minutes.
So, yeah, so with
Yeah.
addition to the.
I got a second. All in favor?
And
Thank
Moving
you
on-
for remembering that.
Moving on to board action items, item 5.1, fiscal year 2024/2025 mid-year budget adjustments.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, this is an item that we recently had discussion with the Budget Personnel Committee on. They recommended it come before the board for discussion. Cody is here this evening to discuss this with us. This is kind of his baby here. This is something that we do periodically throughout the budget year, various updates to it. One of the main reasons that we're doing this tonight is the redevelopment funds that we have received are going to be significantly more than we had previously anticipated, to the tune of about $1 million. Even with the budget changes that we're recommending tonight, we still have a projected budget in the black of about $350,000.
320-ish.
320-ish, which is significant. So Cody's gonna go through this, it's not gonna be line by line, hitting on some of the major points here. Feel free to flag them down if you have any particular questions. We want to touch on the major things. And with that, I will turn it over to Mr. Hartman.
Thank you. So first things first, on the total revenues, we've gone up total revenues about 1.2 million, with majority of that coming from that pass-through redevelopment. That is a every year thing. It's not just one time thing. And then in return to that, our expenses went up about 900,000 or so, because there's other things that we're going to spend money on with some of this redevelopment fund that we have.
And does everybody understand this redevelopment pass-through? We can explain it in depth later on if you need to. I think we've talked about it.
The only other big change on the revenue side is the Spark program doubled. So the revenue in that doubled from about projecting 170,000 to a little over 300,000 now. With that also comes expenses on the Spark side about doubling, and then staff hours also increasing because of it. But that's the only other big change on the revenue side. Everything else very small, minute. Then we'll skip on over to the expense side. So for administration expenses, I'll just go over some of the major stuff. Computer updates and services, upping that a little bit. We have that SciTech service now. So that caused that to go up. That's going to be our one form service and all of our scanning of the documents. That's all digitized and online now. Liability insurance went up significantly more than we thought. We put in a higher number than we were thinking it would be, and insurance just keeps going up and up and up. Same thing's probably going to happen next year, unfortunately. And then the only other large one for the admin side of things is going to be administrative consultant services. We are asking for a grant writer to finish off this fiscal year to write any grants that we're available for any upcoming projects like we have at like JCC and stuff like that. They'll be able to find us grants, and I believe Colby's already touched base on the grant writer before. Then flipping over to the rec side on expenses. Major thing there is just gonna be now that JCC renovations should be done here pretty soon. We are ordering the tables and chairs for everything over there. It's all new equipment. We don't wanna have a brand new building with old equipment in it, so getting the
And
new stuff.
just to clarify, you've already approved that expenditure. This is
Yeah, this is just,
showing.
This isn't the right page if he's on. You're still on an admin.
I'm slow, I'm sorry.
sorry, I'll slow it
There you
down.
go.
No, I just need to speed it up.
So there's that. And then, one other thing that did raise some of the expenses as well, just because this budget is now updated with the salary survey, because that passed after the original budget. All the salaries went up ever so slightly because of that, so that's across the board and all the admin, rec and maintenance. And then we'll get on to the maintenance side of expenses. That's gonna be where the majority.
And with those increases, increased associated workman's comp,
Workers' comp went up too.
associated with it.
Yeah.
All proportionate.
Yeah. Everything went in proportion with that. And then on the maintenance side, major touching points are gonna be,
Cody, you're a maintenance assessment district, correct?
yes, nothing on the regular maintenance side. So major touching points here are gonna be vehicle maintenance. Some of our older vehicles are needing maintenance more frequently now. We did just have one that needed quite a bit of things done on it, so we are asking for more money in that. Then we're going down to community trails and arena maintenance. We did get the new arena panels for all of our arenas. That was something that had already been approved, but that was a pretty large expenditure, so that's reflected in here now. One thing we are working on is for the other contracted services. We bumped that up to about 100,000 now, and that's to do projects like BMCC painting, other stuff now that we have extra revenue coming in to get some of the stuff done that we've been put on the back burner essentially. Then here at the district office, we are looking to get another AC unit. The AC heater issue here is kind of weird. The AC units don't
You guys
communicate
understand
well.
the issue in this.
This room, I'm sure you guys have experienced it plenty of times at night. Here will be hot, but over there will be cold or vice versa. So it's to fix those issues. So this will be on its own split. Back office, front office will be on their own split, so their temperature is better regulated. And then across the board, all the parks kind of need more in the water. I don't look outside right now. The rain hasn't happened for about a year up until now. We've been in a pretty bad drought. So water has been a struggle throughout the year for most of these parks. And then a couple of other utility stuff like electricity and refuse, just because they like to hike up rates every year. So it keeps going up and up and up. And then last two items on the maintenance side. We are adding a deferred maintenance. We are putting 200,000 into that as of right now. So this is stuff to work on all those back burner projects that we want to do. Stuff like resurfacing parking lots. Glen Avon needs a new shower in there. So stuff like that. So stuff that is a little bit pricier that we normally haven't had the budget for, that are some of those maintenance needs that we've been needing. Now we have a revenue source for that we could start using some of the funds that we're getting on the revenue side to pay for this stuff. And then there is one change I want to make. Sorry, I didn't catch it before. Under the capital equipment, it says 20,000. That was actually supposed to be updated to 35,000, because that is going to be budgeted for a new truck / van. That is to help replace one of those vehicles that keeps having all that work done. I think it's had about $13,000 of work on it in the last 2 years. The vehicle was 2010 or 2012. It's well over a decade old, and it's slowly falling apart on us. So it's kind of pointless to keep dumping more money into it. So we would like to get a new vehicle to replace that one. That's everything I have for that. Is there any
Well, I
questions?
just want to talk about what we're calling the deferred maintenance account there. The district's never been in this situation, to my knowledge, where we're able to budget $200,000 and still have money that will be set aside essentially to go into reserves. And this deferred maintenance is things that we have literally deferred in the past. This is resealing parking lots. Majority of our parking lots need to be resealed, restriped, so we don't run into issues like we're experiencing at JCC and having to replace the entire system. Painting of facilities, replacement of drinking fountains, the one inside Avalon Gym, we can no longer find parts for it, so let's replace it. If we're replacing it, let's replace it with the water filler as well. The shower associated with the splash pad at Glen Avon Heritage, we have to have according to health and safety code. It's falling apart. It's at the point, let's stop repairing it. We need to replace it. There'll be a number of things that we're gonna bring forward. We'll go through the Park Maintenance and Safety Committee and bring forward to the board for approval as well. The scoreboards at Knowles Field are no longer able to be repaired. They're outdated. Little League would like them replaced, and they've offered to replace one, pay for one of them if we can do the second one. Things along those lines that we're gonna be proposing. And this is not a one-time deal. This is gonna be something that we're gonna have to look at, maybe not $200,000 every year, but every year going forward. This will be addressing alongside this ends up being ADA issues and stuff as well. It's money now, but it should save us a lot more down the road is what we're looking at, so. And this is repairs and improvements, not replacement of buildings. It's not room additions. It's not those types of projects. Those are capital projects. And that's a whole nother plan we're working on to fund. So with that, do you have any questions?
I only have one question as
Sure.
far as the vehicle that is giving you so many problems.
Mhm.
What do you do with that vehicle? You sell it? Do you sell the parts or you just salvage it?
Got a plan for that? We'll talk about it more later.
It's another item.
Yeah, we have an item to replace it, but we'll most likely keep it as a backup vehicle. Not necessarily dispose of it at this point, but just for if something does go out of service, so we can bring that in. But yes,
The increase in like insurance and workers' comp, is it an abnormal increase or is it just kind of?
It was a little abnormal. It was more than we thought it would be by a substantial amount. I think it went up on the liability insurance. It went up, what, 25-30%, somewhere around there. So we knew it would jump a little bit because Shadow Rock and some of those were added onto it this year. But we weren't expecting that much of a jump, and it's kind of just insurances are going up, and realistically this year it's probably gonna go up a lot more just because all the fires that have been happening. So it's an unfortunate reality right now.
and the reality is, don't look at just California. We need to look nationwide.
Yeah.
That's what, we've been told every year, hey, they're coming, it's coming, it's coming. It hasn't been as big as we had thought. And now it hit us.
Yeah,
This is Capri.
This is through Capri, but it's across the board. It's not, it's everybody's having the same issues. Look at your homeowner's insurance, look at your.
I'm not implying anything about Capri. I'm just identifying.
Exactly, yeah, it's,
And
And
Capri
afford-
typically doesn't give us our rates until like July, August, after we've approved our budget.
so it's kind of a best guess game. Hopefully we're close enough, and we try to give it some extra fluff, and we put extra fluff and it was nowhere near enough fluff this year.
But the problem with, well, I don't know if it's a problem. I'm not saying any other insurance would be less of an issue. But Capri, I mean, if they lose a lot of parks in a fire,
We're in a pool.
Right.
Yeah.
Bigger,
well, we all have to,
like the JPA, the way it works, yeah, we've actually, our size, we're in a pool. Which means we may have no claims, but if our partners in the pool do, we help them, same way they would help us. So it's hard to say, it's not anything that we've had to file claims for, it's the pool.
and it's not necessarily that the pool is not doing well, 'cause that's not the case. It's actually Capri still has an underwriter as well. And it's those premiums that primarily are impacting our increases.
So just, because I'm fairly new, you have to be part of that pool? Or is it best for us?
We don't have to be part of that pool.
It benefits us being part of it?
Yeah, we do not have the ability to self-insure ourselves.
It would be way more.
It'd be a lot more.
Well, we would, if one claim, then we would be wiped out. Yes.
but if we went with some other insurance broker, it would probably be far more expensive than Capri.
Chances are-
Correct, or it'd most likely be another JPA. And the reality is, I don't think there's I know of an agency that left Capri and wanted to come back and they told them no. So
Is the insurance able to be shopped, or is that basically you have
we can shop it,
to be part of the pool still?
but we would have to leave Capri
Oh, okay.
and join most likely another JPA.
Oh, okay.
Yes. One of the advantages to Capri is we don't have public safety within our public safety liability
Right.
is through the roof. So we wouldn't want to be part of a PERMA or one of those that are insuring city governments.
So Capri.
Hear the
is-
rain?
I was gonna say, I guess we have water.
Yeah,
So they can cut that out of the budget.
I know.
Right.
Budget, please.
Diana said go back for it. Okay.
Yeah, it's coming down pretty hard.
Is there fuel or anything else that we should probably, increase right now?
I think our fuel's
Everything,
fuel,
I don't know, I got gas today. I
but I think we buffered for it last year, but
think we're doing fine.
I
with
think we're
fuel.
okay.
yeah.
Gotta go to that.
I think gas prices came down a little bit more this year, so it hasn't been nearly as bad, so. Oh, yeah, we're only about a third of the way through as of December 31st, so half the year, we're only about a third of the way through what we originally budgeted. So good gas prices kind of helped it this year, no $6 per gallon this fiscal year. Knock on wood.
Not yet.
So, yeah, it's been $4.40 today,
40.
$4.39.
I paid $4.35 today.
That's lower.
Costco was
Don't get a
$4.49.
car
That
that
was the way
needs
that
premium
went.
gas.
That was 420.
Say that again?
Don't get a car that needs premium gas.
Yeah, I know. Any other questions? These are great questions.
That's it for me.
I think we're good.
One other thing, because I don't have the CFD budget in front of me right now, all that's changing on the CFD side is gonna be the water and utilities as well, and then, since they share a portion of the, vehicle maintenance, their portion of the vehicle maintenance. So, but for them, nothing else changed.
Do they share a portion of the vehicle purchase?
Yes,
And vehicle fuel.
yes.
Well, yes,
Yeah.
I was doing the purchase. So the purchase is distributed across.
It's split between both.
All right, any other questions or comments? No, I'll entertain a motion.
I move the Board of Directors adopt a resolution number 2025-06, approving the fiscal year
That was a
Oh,
typo.
5 is
2025-05, that's a typo.
05.
Thanks.
Okay. Approving the fiscal year 2024-2025 mid-year budget adjustments.
Second.
Okay, this will be a little. Okay, Kim Jo Johnson,
Aye.
Edward Castellan,
Yes.
Ross Leisha,
Yes.
Jose Luis Godinez.
Yes.
Tammy Rivas.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0. Thank you.
So that was 2025-05. Okay, because I've seen
Next
the
one's
next one,
06.
06.
This was 06, yeah. They're both, the resolutions were right, but we missed the agenda.
Right, moving on to item 5.2, destruction of documents, Mr. Dupin.
Thank you. Cody's gonna stick around just in case you have any questions, but if you look through the window over here, you walk to the back of the office, there are bankers boxes everywhere. As you guys recall, earlier this fiscal year, we approved the document imaging policy with SciTech Solutions. And as part of that, I think that was the only one.
Okay.
We've recently received those documents back. They have all been scanned. They are working in our SharePoint environment. We've been testing it. Everything is there. It is, on top of that, far more convenient for us to search for something. Me and Loretta had a meeting with them today. They showed us a couple more tricks and stuff easy as well. But this is essentially authorizing the destruction of those documents.
70 boxes.
70 bankers boxes or so full of them. So
Yeah, I did see in here, it said no historical documents, but yet we're talking about destroying the minutes and the meeting agendas for the very first year of our existence. To me, that's.
they are all digital. We have to retain those, but we do not have to retain them in a paper form, hard copy.
Oh, I understand that, but
Historical document would be referred to more along the lines of a proclamation we received or something along those lines of, that may be of significance historically, not legally.
I understand. I'm just saying, I personally think that first year of our existence is our historical documents. And I'm wondering if we want to keep the originals as opposed to just digitize. I guess I always worry because things change. So what happens when our, what happens when the tech changes and the way we've held onto these change? How do we switch it from
That's
one
the
kind of
reason we went
digital?
with the solution we went to, it's not a proprietary software. There are firms out there that is a proprietary software. And it's not stored in a typical PDF fashion. It's stored in their format. And when something happens to those companies or they go out of business, they merge with somebody else, that's where the concerns that you're raising come into. We own this, we don't pay to maintain a license to access our information. If we decided to terminate our agreement today with SciTech, we have 100% access to our documents. We own the space they're being stored, and it's also being backed up within that environment as well.
There's no CD, there's no floppy disk, think of the old days and nothing like that.
Okay, yes, I understand, but still, things change. I'm just wondering how I'm not saying everything should be kept but it does, I don't know. As a person who's a historian, the idea in the first year of our existence to me is a very significant year. And I hate the idea that it's just all digitized and none of the original documents are still available. Like we couldn't pull those out at our whatever anniversary and put them on a table and show people. This was our first agenda. You'd have to just print off a copy and put it in.
To be honest, we put it on the table right now, it turned to dust.
They're not in great shape. They are not a pretty document by any means. They are.
I didn't think it's pretty, but
They've been in storage for,
If the board would like to maintain 1984's documents,
I mean, is it one banker's box?
1984, yeah,
maybe.
it's, I think, one book, to be honest, for 1984. I'd have to find it, but it's not much. But I remember when I was pulling those ones down, I had to be extra careful because if I sneezed, it probably would have turned to dust because they were.
They're.
I didn't realize paper was
Those are
yellow
brittle.
back in the 80s, but apparently it was.
I didn't realize paper was what?
Yellow back in the 80s, but apparently it was.
Cody wasn't born in 1984, okay?
predates.
But they're still able to be digitized?
Yes,
It's
they're,
already digitized.
oh, it's already been digitized, which makes me worry more of what's gonna be like when I open that box. I can't believe they went through a scanner, but they did.
Correct me if I'm wrong, I think Kim is what she's trying to say is that it has a significant value, kind of like
It
the,
has an intrinsic value.
yeah,
And then if the board would like to retain,
That one.
that one. Bob.
I think that would be a good thing to keep.
We can do that.
Yeah.
We need to
I
get
can go grab that one.
special storage,
Put it on.
a special storage thing so it doesn't degrade over.
Yeah, we would pay so much for
Get a
that.
lockbox for it.
Yeah. Is that donated to a JMDC?
How about a glass case?
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Whatever, yeah.
There you go, like the
White
white.
love.
They put like the neutral gas in it. Okay, so I will make the motion to adopt resolution number 2025-06, authorizing destruction of certain documents with the exception of the documents from 1984.
just to clarify that, you want agendas and minutes?
I think that's what was on the list, yes.
I think that's all that's in that one.
Yeah. So if you want me to say specifically, except for agendas and minutes from
I
19.
just want to clarify.
Where are the backups being held? Is it new digitized stuff
They're in the cloud.
in the cloud?
Yeah, that it's stored on Microsoft servers and there's redundancy within those.
I'll second.
And this is a resolution, right? So we need a roll call.
Correct. Making my notes.
Nope, you're good.
Okay. Sure. The extra. Okay, roll call, Kim Gerald Johnson. Aye. Edwin Castellano.
Yes.
Ross Lacy.
Yes.
Jose Luis Godinez.
Yes.
Henry Reed.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Moving on to item 5.3, discussion and possible approval to purchase new maintenance vehicle.
Thank you. As we approved in the first agenda here this evening, the update to the operating budget. There's funds in there for the purchase of another maintenance vehicle. We have looked at various options here. One of the things the board has requested we look at is the feasibility of an electric vehicle. We proposed this at the Budget Personnel Committee. They asked that we show comparisons versus a traditional internal combustion engine vehicle. Looked around, Ford has their E-Transit van, which is essentially a cargo van. The only other ones out there are significantly more from Chevy, Dodge, Mercedes in the 80 to 90,000 range. This is essentially a maintenance level vehicle, 2 front seats and a panel van in the back. It is an electric vehicle. The unique thing about the vans is they have a range of about 140 miles. That's it. Not a big concern for us here at the district because our maintenance personnel average 20 to 25 miles a day in driving. So we'd be able to go a good chunk of the week without having to recharge. It is a higher purchase price here. I can show you a little table we put together comparing a comparable model, F-150 half-ton pickup truck, about $45,000 out the door now compared to $57,000 for the van. The true savings is in fuel. We took these numbers for maintenance costs projected off of some websites for their vehicles. The kilowatt hour is controlled. That's somewhat misleading. We have to go off of the electric bill, or we also have solar available at the Rupert Community Center where the vehicle would most likely be stored. Can't guarantee it's free, but worst case scenario. And we average just at $4 a gallon for fuel. We don't necessarily pay the same price that us as the consumer pay at the pump through the purchase program we have. We typically get it 15 cents cheaper.
Yes.
Yeah, is what we're paying through the fleet purchase program we have. So $4 a gallon is what we average. The vehicle that we're taking out of daily service is averaging 8 miles per gallon. The new vehicles that are comparable to this one are averaging in the 17 to 23 mile range. The other advantage with the van is by law, they come with a longer warranty. The typical work truck is 3 years, 36,000 miles, but law requires the batteries to be warranted to 100,000 miles. So we do get a longer warranty in that aspect. Don't know how it necessarily equates because we may not have a problem with any vehicle ever. But over the course of the life of these vans, over a 10-year period, it does appear the van is slightly less to operate. Now there was a law that went into effect January 1 of 2024, and we all hear about the electric vehicle rebates. Government agencies were never eligible for that because it was a tax credit. The law was changed to allow government agencies or nonprofit organizations to receive a essential cash rebate. In researching that, when you click on the links, those pages are no longer available or not currently available on various government websites. So it's unsure if we are going to be able to receive that or not. So we did not account for that. If that is something that is available and we are eligible to receive, we'll definitely research that. And that brings that cost of ownership down 10%. So with that, I just want to add the upfitting of the vehicles is essentially the same. There are some advantages that we see security wise, primarily. Everything locked inside the vehicle. I think it works well for us. It's not a large fleet vehicle, a 1-ton type vehicle. around town. I think it's gonna, it's a good potential for us.
You had mentioned a scenario where taking the trash and putting it in the van would be a problem.
And we don't, what we're gonna use this vehicle for would most likely be facility maintenance. And so it even has some extra, you know, their trash they're taking around to the facilities and dumping in the dumpsters, whatever. But it's the box goods that are typically carried as well that are left in the back of the truck that days like today, you know, or just being exposed to the weather, and they would be protected inside.
We're not using this to carry trash around.
Not necessarily, no. Not saying that bags of trash wouldn't be in it at some point, but
No.
not
Typically.
what the maintenance staff refers to as trash juice. We won't have sloshing around in the mitten truck. We have looked at the electric maintenance truck or electric pickup trucks. And right now, the ones available to us are Ford, Chevy, and I believe Dodge has one out. Not, if not now, it will be shortly. They are a crew cab, short bed vehicle, which just does not work for our maintenance needs. It's more along the lines of what I would consider a supervisor truck.
I looked up some pictures of it online just to see it. It kind of reminded me of the smaller Amazon delivery trucks with the high
Yeah.
bay and everything.
And we are quoting this as what they call the mid-height, which is still like 6'2" on the inside. So the average person's able to stand up in there, and it's their longer wheelbase version. So you could fit a 4x8 sheet of plywood inside it if you needed to.
Does it have like a flat side? Could we like put something on the side to advertise?
Trying to think, yes, it is a typical van. It's the exact same body as the regular Ford Transit gas vehicle, just a different chassis. So you see these driving around. They're used a lot in the.
Did you pull up a picture?
I can pull up a picture of it, yeah. So I've been trying to play in my head something. Parks are green, why shouldn't our vehicles, or,
Okay.
you know, something like that, you know?
Our vehicles now, do they have our logo?
Correct.
And they're all white.
They're all white. What is this thing doing?
There's E-Transit. sign.
Yeah, I think the batteries and the keyboard are going.
Right there.
Oh, yeah.
It's a typical. Doctor's website, but yeah. So I think that's the mid-height van right there. There's no windows. Upfitting it, would have, I believe actually this one has a partition between the drivers, so if there was an accident, nothing came flying forward. It's a safety issue. We would, you know, outfit it with storage bins on the inside, but the opportunity is there to advertise. Correct.
Clean electric vehicles.
Yeah. Something along those lines. Not a full ramp lane.
Making the effort.
Correct. Yeah. So.
I hope it works out, because I think for our use electric vehicles, for the most part,
The school district is experimenting with them right now as well. They've had so far positive results, I'd say. The reality is, I think this is the future. You know, there's a mandate in California of 2035, I want to say. If we hit that or not, who knows? What other agencies are looking at, I've been looking at it. You can get this basically in the cabin chassis model. And then they're putting a work utility bed on it. That upfitting cost is just not there yet at a price point that I was comfortable recommending.
no, plus we could put racks inside the back.
Correct, yeah. But if we have to look at something down the road for, you know, park maintenance, that might be something as it becomes more efficient, but cost effective.
I move the board of directors accept the quote from Sunrise Ford for the purchase of an E-Transit electric van in the amount of $57,263.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes 5-0. Moving on to item 5.4, discussion and possible approval of grant writing services.
Correct. This is another item in the budget that we added to professional services. We've been using California Consulting for our grant writing services in the past. On our larger grants for parks that we've applied for, it's upwards of $10,000 to $12,000 in consulting fees per grant. It's quite costly. We've only done two in the past. We did not receive one, and the second one, they did not award at all. So basically both of them did not award, unfortunately. You're talking with California Consulting, with various things we have going on in the district now, the discussion of creating our own nonprofit organization. I reached out to see if they had a kind of all-in package. They offer a plan. It's $4,800 a month to be on retainer. And it's, I'm not gonna say unlimited, but it is what we're submitting to them, they'll be able to get processed. Anywhere from the $1,000 grant from other nonprofits to multi-million-dollar grants we're looking at for parks. Over the course of the year, we're talking essentially $60,000. We could not hire a staff to write grants full-time for us for that price. Their staff is well-versed. They are on first name basis with staff at the state to offer grants and local services. They're well tuned in with nationwide projects as well. I receive weekly updates on opportunities. If we'd have a kickoff meeting with them, and we describe the projects that we're looking at, what it is we're looking for, to park development, we want to deal with childhood obesity, whatever it is we want to address, and that'll be on their radar. And as those grants come up, they would present them to us. These are the requirements of this grant. There may or may not be matching requirements. Is this something you would like us to apply for? The same note, if something comes across our desk, we could reach out to them as well and say, hey, can you research this further? Does this meet our requirements? Would we be eligible? And they would submit on our behalf as well.
I know you said that we would suggest what we would want to cover, but shouldn't they also,
They would be
suggest-
making recommendations as well.
Yeah.
But they don't know what our projects it is we're working on, especially when it comes to our larger stuff. But yes, we have 37th Street property. We have the other property that we're closing escrow on. Those are definitely two obvious things we'll be looking at. There's going to be a lot of resiliency grants coming forward, I assume, with the recent fires and stuff. We've talked about, generators and things for buildings. There's gonna be a lot of stuff out there that I think we'll be looking at, and we want to be as competitive as possible.
Any questions or comments?
Just one question on the grants. How many grants do you envision we can do a month? Or in a quarter?
I don't know, because the bigger grants are not every month per se, but there's a lot of things we want to be looking at, even just within, say, something for the after-school program, that couple $1,000. So I don't know if 4 or 5, I think, would be realistic. But they can vary from $1,000 to $2 million, $3 million. So I don't know if there's a true number I can give you. Other than the fact this will be something we are actively working with.
And their monthly rate's gonna be 4,800 regardless if they
Regardless.
filed for a grant
One
or
or-
not.
1 or 12, yeah.
Board of Directors accept the proposal from California Consulting Inc. for grant writing services.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes 5-0. Moving on to item 5.5, replacement of stadium lights at Rick Thompson Arena.
Yes, this is a budgeted item we have. The lights at the arena are. They've been up there for a long time because as I was testing out our new document management system, I Googled Rick Thompson Arena and the discussion to replacing those lights was taking place in 1997. And they're still the same lights and they were old then. As you recall, when the rodeo took place 2 years ago, during both nights of the event, one entire bank ended up going out. What we determined, it was after the fact, the transformers within them were just overheating and shutting down the entire bank. This proposal is to replace all the lights with new, same wattage, but LED counterpart or equivalent. So, and this is budgeted within our operating budget.
I have questions.
Sure.
First of all, none of the quotes seem to be consistent on the amount of lights. One has 18, one has 26, one has 28. And I was curious as to why the one with the least amount of lights was $112,000, where the other ones are $16,000.
Where $112,000 came from, we have no idea.
And why is there so much discrepancy in the quantity of lights?
It's all given the same spec. This is what we're looking for. They all walked it with our staff. And I can tell you the quote from city,
Trout Electric.
well, no, that one, no, our low bid from,
Innovative.
no, it's, yeah, anything like, yeah, IES, thank you, is replacing what we have. Why they varied, I have no idea. So,
And have we looked into any necessity, considering their age, replacing wiring back to the panel? Replacing.
it does not appear anything needs to be replaced at this point.
Is that inspected at the same
We
time?
inspected it all, we looked at it. The issues took place on the pole at the transformers. We had our electricians out after and just it's IES who was the low bid that we typically use for this, and they've inspected everything, and they're the ones that told us the wire in the ground does not need to be.
And
It's
the
still fine.
poles look like they're ready to snap in the wind like we had at Memorial. They all seem to be.
We've inspected all that as well. That was a concern I had, but they all appear to be.
Okay.
Any more questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
I move the board of directors accept the quote from Innovative Electric Servicing for the replacement of the lights at Rick Thompson Arena in an amount not to exceed $16,177.
I second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Right, moving on to 5.6, discussion and possible approval of to replace this one to replace the irrigation pump at Sunset Ridge. Just got
Yes, the irrigation at Sunset Ridge was installed back in 2007, and it's the same pump from day one. There's been some repairs over the years, but it has now completely failed. It is no longer it's beyond repair, and it just needs to be completely replaced. The technology has changed since then to variable speed pumps. The impeller systems are different, so it requires a whole new structure. We're currently operating without it. Luckily, it failed right at the end of our warm season that we would be downgrading our water anyways. There are funds available for the replacement of this within the CFD for Sunset Ridge within our reserves account, which is what they're designed for. These pumps typically last us beyond 10 years. And this was, just over right at 18 years that it finally failed, so it definitely met its life expectancy. So this is something that is not out of the ordinary, but it does need to be repaired before we get into our warmer seasons.
Before we get into our.
Correct, replaced, yes, and then it's the installation, the training, for the staff.
Just, I would suggest correcting the title, of the replacement,
Okay,
the irrigation pump at Sunset.
yep.
Any comments, questions?
Yeah, questions again, so. Remember, I came from this environment, so I am concerned, does the current system have a VFD on it?
No, it doesn't.
And there's why are they requesting a VFD? I know they try to sell them as a cost saving measure, and they can be until they go bad.
To meet Title 22, it's all we can do.
They have to be a VFD.
Variable frequency drive.
What is Title 22?
That is the state requirement for energy efficiency, essentially. I agree with you. I understand.
VFDs, when they go bad, the expense is just
The
astronomical.
drivers are.
Yes, they're very expensive.
We have them on air conditioning units, we have them on.
Yeah, whatever the cost you might save throughout a year or two is just completely blown away when you have to replace a circuit board in a VFD.
They don't even sell as you're aware, people just jump them.
Yeah, usually you just bypass them and get rid of them. Yeah. Okay, I didn't know that there was an actual requirement that we have a VFD. They do make energy efficient motors, but I guess
I don't believe you can even buy pool pumps anymore that are not VFD.
what a racket. Okay, cause I was just thinking if we could get around not spending money on a VFD.
We haven't had issues with the current ones we have, but I do share your concern.
Okay.
Any more questions or comments? Yep, I'll entertain a motion.
I move the board of directors accept the quote from Site One Landscape Supply for the replacement of the booster pump at Sunset Ridge for $18,646.45.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes 5-0. Moving on to item 5.6, discussion and possible approval of the replacement of the irrigation pump at Sunset Ridge. Oh, sorry. I'm so
That's
sorry.
finished.
5.7, excuse me, discussion and possible approval of the quote for rock removal from district arenas.
As we're going through and upgrading our current arenas, we're earthing different soil and it's getting mixed into our arenas. We have a number of ones that have a significant amount of rock in them. So we have requested quotes for essentially the sifting of all of our arenas. In a nutshell, these guys come out with a tractor with a mobile sifting mechanism that goes through and sorts, leaves the good, picks up not just the rock, but other debris that may be within the soil. We had this done at Horseshoe Lake a couple years back, after we opened that facility up. So we're just proposing to go through and do them all at one time. Nobody local here in the area that does it, unfortunately, from all the research that staff did. The number 2 big, Kip Mickles, is who did it for us a couple years back at Horseshoe Lake out of the high desert area. But actually the best quote we received was from Pro Footing California, who's out of the Bay Area. And that includes all his travel time and hotel and
Yeah.
and Riddle Rock, who I just absolutely love the name, comes out of Arizona.
And they spelled their name wrong. They spelled
Dude.
Ja Rupa.
Oh, yeah, they're the
With an
ones.
A.
Do people? Because I mean, I know so many people in Hurricane Valley have an arena in their back, that have horses have their own like circle arena in their back. Do they hire someone like this to come sift their arenas?
Well, I know for a fact where my daughters practice, they don't. We basically do it. We all volunteer and they have a tractor
And y'all.
and they rake it and then we go through picking the huge ones and moving them back.
Buckets and
But yeah, it's a small arena. It's just like about parents.
That's what Linda Thompson talked about, how.
Yeah, they used to have volunteer days out here before the rodeo. They did it 2 years ago. And they're out there with buckets and
Yeah.
picking. So they're, not that we won't have to do it again, but it'll be a long time until we have to do something like this.
I'm
To my knowledge, other than the Horseshoe Lake, we've never had it done.
Is it possible to have volunteers? I mean,
For liability, it's one of these things, let's do it right, I think. And then moving forward, maybe it's something we can do some replacement on. Yeah.
Well, my question is, we have a tractor. What would it cost us to get the attachment and have our own? And
They're all custom made from what I've seen.
but
The closest thing I've seen is we've all been to the beach and they're pulling the big one behind the,
Right, and it's got expanded metal cage to catch the rocks and let the dirt flow through. But I'm just wondering, have we looked into what it would cost to get an attachment that would be adequate for our arenas where you don't have to spend this kind of money?
we can look into it. I just don't know if it's something that's worthwhile having because we wouldn't use it enough that storing it and then we go to use it, it's gonna be broken down for whatever reason.
It's a right basket, what's to break?
It's not quite that, but I can pull up.
This just seems like a lot of money.
yeah,
That's-
for
I,
once.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I can pull up their, let me pull up for you Rideau Rock, just because I know he's got a good website.
I mean, I get it, I get the necessity to do it, I just feel like really 18.
I agree. I understand.
And what
But
happens to the
also
rock?
look at how many
Does it end up
square-
at the mountains?
Look how many square feet, were, you see behind them what they're pulling.
And we've just replaced all the fencing.
So it's not a simple screen.
Okay, so see, I was envisioning like you were saying, what
So
they pull.
this is a mobile,
That's high tech.
material handling.
Okay,
That is totally high tech.
that's a little more.
Yeah, that
than
looks like-
what I envisioned in my head.
It almost looks like something you'd see like them using on the freeway or when they're redoing something or something. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it's not a simple, just put it behind our tractor.
Okay, that's a little different than I was envisioning in my head.
Yeah.
So, all right. Sure, then
These are all three of them, from what I can tell, they all have their own custom made system.
okay.
I'm just
Modified
surprised
from,
with the number of arenas and things, even public arenas and the,
well, I know if you go on this guy's social media, he's posting, hey, I'm gonna be in the Dallas area. Get on my schedule, he wants to,
Well, yeah, he doesn't want to make a
he
trip.
wants to make it work every day of his trip, yeah.
interesting.
And then the guy I've talked to, he comes out here quite often, he said,
Okay.
And what do they do with the rock?
they leave it, we will dispose of it.
We have
we
where
will-
to take it.
We have places to take it.
There you go.
We have a potential location. I don't know if it's gonna be such a significant amount that we need to worry about it, but dump trailers.
I guess what we have to do is what we have to do. I just, like, when I read this and saw the cost, I was just like, wow.
Trust
It
me,
might be, especially for rocks.
but at the same point, this is a preventative maintenance issue. This is liability we're working with. We do not want a horse to
Hurt themselves.
hurt themselves.
It's a safety issue.
Yep, it's a safety issue. As we're redoing the irrigation system, I can tell you, as we're redoing the irrigation system out here at Thompson Arena, anything that the contractor's adamant, anything that was a plastic valve box is being replaced with a concrete valve box. Because a horse will go right through a plastic valve box.
Oh,
As the ones that we see on the sidewalk. On the trails that they go through. I've seen those.
Yeah.
The water
Water
covers,
meters, yep.
the water meter covers,
green
they're
ones.
broken.
Yeah.
The green ones, exactly.
I get the need for it. I say it's just,
Oh,
it's a sticker shop.
It's no, trust me, I agree. When I wasn't expecting anywhere near that.
Yeah.
Dollar amount. I want to say when we did Horseshoe Lake, it was like $2,500.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking when I saw this, I was trying to remember Horseshoe Lake, thinking, I don't want
And
to
these
think
are
of this whole
not
thing
to
to about
exceed
10.
because they base it on an hourly rate.
And this is all the arenas.
This is all the arenas,
including Horseshoe Lake.
including Horseshoe Lake. But they said when they physically got here to look at it, if they don't need to do Horseshoe Lake, they're not gonna charge. They'll just skip over it.
Okay. How many arenas for the 18?
That's it. So this is, what is it? 2, 4, 6.
6 arenas.
Two at Britt Thompson, two at or one at Felspar, one at Horseshoe Lake.
And we're gonna come in and amend the soil afterwards with sand. We talked to all three of them. They all said, no, do it after we come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do it before.
It's a purpose.
If you just, it slows them down, yeah, we're more to it and.
Okay,
I move the board of directors accept the quote from Pro Footing California in an amount not to exceed 18,500 for rock removal at all district arenas.
All second.
All right, all in favor?
I
Motion passes 5-0. All right, moving on to the general manager's report.
Thank you. I want to give you guys an update on the Europe Community Center construction. We were moving along great and then the rain hit. The exterior of the building, the scratch coat for all the stucco has gone up. We're able to get that up earlier this week, about a 7-day dry time on that. They'll be coming back, just gonna come back on Monday to put the brown coat on. And then they'll start with the tile exterior and interior on the restrooms. Drywall, they finished the last coat, I believe, today. It's taking a little longer than normal to dry with this weather as well. And the T-bar ceilings and such will start going in the next week or so. Forms for the new sidewalks and walkways will all start going up after the brown coat and scratch is put up as well. Contractor wanted all that completed before they didn't want to put any concrete down and get splatter and stuff on it. So you're gonna start seeing quick progress or a lot of progress moving forward right now. Electrical on the inside is all done. Drywall is completed with the exception of a couple things. We are waiting on some steel that will be installed on Monday. So all that will be finished up quickly here. We are looking at a completion of early to mid-April right now. And then once the concrete forms are going in, they'll be starting on the parking lot. So as much as we love this rain and we need the rain, I also don't want any more rain because we don't want to delay the parking lot with mud. So that's where we're at with the community center project there. So it's putting that scratch coat on that building really helped define it. It looks really, really good. I just, in the last couple of days, I wasn't able to get any good pictures because it's so cloudy. Veterans Memorial Wall, we're hoping to have a special meeting next Tuesday. I would like to confirm with you this evening, but we have received 3 bids. We did have one contractor withdraw their bid from consideration for various reasons. But we are still on pace for the completion of that project. The wall is in the production queue and we'll be getting updates from Quick Creek Products as that goes through their formation. They're creating the forms and stuff for that. So that's gonna be an exciting process. Staff is also in the process of completing our recreation guide right now for the summer months, and that will go in March. As you recall, one of the things that we have done is going from 2 brochures a year to 3 brochures a year. So this brochure will cover a 5-month period instead of 6 to get us on the cycle that we want to be. And then the next brochure, which would go out in September, will be covering 4-month periods. The idea is we will have a brochure that covers September, October, November, December, January, February, March. So before the holidays, after the holidays, and then April, May, June, January, February, March, April, and then May, June, July, August, so our summer months. I really think that is going to give us better advertisement and promotion of our activities. When the brochure comes out, our programs do phenomenal. Better early on. As they get to the later part of that brochure cycle, we start seeing a drop off in our attendance despite our ongoing marketing efforts. So that was something that we approved in this current budget year. So staff's doing a wonderful job in regards to that. Other than that, our youth basketball program is underway. We are recruiting and we're starting interview processes and hiring of lifeguards for the summer season. We will again be offering lifeguard training courses. Anybody that does take our lifeguard training course that is hired by us and completes the season does not have to pay for that course. They get a refund for it. That's something we started a number of years ago, and it's been very productive for us. And it's a challenge to get lifeguards in this current hiring market for whatever reason. Still think it's one of the best jobs out there, but I'm a little biased. But we're well into that process. Other than that, we've talked about our budget cycles that we're on. Things are moving along. We've had no issues from this rain other than watering our grass. And then I also want to share this weekend, AYSO is hosting a large regional tournament at Rancho Rupa Regional Sports Park. They're also playing at Centennial. And I believe they're also using 2 or 3 of the high schools on a couple days as well. They're expecting something like 175 teams from across Southern California. As far north, I want to say is Vegas, and then some coming in from Arizona as well. So this is by far the largest tournament that gets hosted there annually. So excited to see that.
And you do not want to go down Camino Real.
If you don't want to go down Camino Real on Saturday or Sunday.
How's the girls' empowerment?
Oh,
Power.
it was phenomenal. It was really good. We have received nothing but positive comments. Unbeknownst to me, my neighbor's daughter attended. She texted me Saturday morning. She's 8 or 9, I want to say. Hey, I just want to let you know, I just dropped off my daughter at the event. She was extremely nervous. She didn't know anybody. Your staff was very welcoming and good, and we're dealing with her well, and I felt very comfortable leaving her. So, and then I followed up with later and said she had a great time. Her favorite part about it, which kind of surprised me, was the CPR portion that they did with the staff. A number of the evaluations that we received so far, that was one of the things that they liked the most, which really surprised me. I don't know if you guys saw the pictures we post on social media. The shirts came out really cute. The girls loved them. Staff did a wonderful job. I got there early and left because but I did show up a little later.
It was fantastic, the interaction.
And ended up being, the event cost us nothing. The donations, we had donations of breakfast from 85 Degree Bakery, the new one there on Pat's Ranch Road. Pollo Campero that opened up here off Pyrite. They donated the lunch. We did have to pick up some of the lunches because they kept growing. But we received $1,300 in donations. Has not come, but Karen's, she asked if she could donate it. We asked for for 500, and she said, why don't you make it 1,000? So she really enjoyed it as well. So extremely happy. Staff did a great job, but they all had a really good time at the event as well.
Tyler did an amazing job getting all these donations, and then it cost us
What
nothing.
was the attendance number?
87?
Oh, wow.
Oh, great.
Because last I heard it was like 67. So
And we had a few no-shows, but a few, hey, I brought my cousin, I brought my neighbor, and they accommodated them.
A lot of walk-ins.
I believe Director Castellan was there as well.
Yeah.
Dropping off your,
No, I just
Oh.
passed by. Also, unbeknownst to me, my nieces were there.
oh, okay.
Oh.
So they-
I knew that there was some, I assumed you dropped them off.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's it.
Do you think it's too much of an imposition for Valerie to make a presentation like after the fact?
We're gonna work on we'll do a follow-up.
Okay.
That's great. I was thinking the same thing. Get a report, yeah.
Any other questions for Mr. DeQuid? All right, moving on to board comments. Ms. Johnson,
I don't think I have any comments tonight.
Mr. Castillo.
Yeah, I was gonna share about the event. It was well attended. Staff obviously was happy with it, but also some of the volunteers. I think there was a volunteer helping with some dancing lessons, but she was very impressed as well. And also, I was overhearing conversations, and she was offering help for future events. And but I think the idea of kind of like a men's bird.
Staff's already, I already told them the challenge.
Yeah, also
They're
came up.
they're looking at what some opportunities are.
Yeah, it came up in those conversations as well, so, and also ran to Supervisor Spiegel, thanked her for her support, and she was wearing the shirt as well. So I'm very happy with
There's
it.
a lot of purple there.
Yeah. A lot. So that's it for me.
Mr. Leach.
Yeah, I just mentioned that today I represented us at the chamber lunch. Gave an update on some of the things that we're doing, and I definitely brought up the Veterans Memorial Wall. We're accepting nominations now, and that seemed to get some interest from a few people there. So mentioned the website, there to get the information. And I just want to bring up to everybody that doesn't know, tomorrow Cold Stones has a soft opening. at 10 o'clock in the morning.
That's right.
With the new shopping center, yeah, so anybody that wants to get some ice cream, just thought I'd bring that.
What's it? Do you know what's it?
10 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Well, 10, I thought it was 10:45, excuse me.
Weird, okay.
That's why I bring her to meetings. Keep me straight.
All right, Ms. Rivas.
I'm just very excited to see what the Discovery Center comes out to be in the near future, and that's about it. No more comments.
Okay, I'm glad to hear JCC's coming along and that we're on schedule with Veterans Memorial Wall, and I'm glad the event on Saturday was a hit, and yeah, staff seems to be jamming right now, so
They're doing really good. I'm very proud of them.
likewise. Yeah, and that's it for me. As far as future committee meetings, budget and personnel, February 12th.
Well, it was supposed to be yesterday. We ended up rescheduling that. We will get that on the date. And then I'm waiting for staff to give me their entire list, but we will be scheduling a park maintenance and safety meeting to go over these these deferred maintenance items. So we can start working forward on those.
Okay.
I had a question with the sign at Rick Thompson area considered a deferred maintenance item?
That is a item that is beyond deferred maintenance, but yes.
Scheduling board meeting next week.
Yeah, and the last thing is I was hoping to have a special meeting next Tuesday
The 18th.
As long as it's before 3.
before 3.
Yeah, class.
Oh, my problem is I have to have it no earlier than 5.
What about Wednesday or Monday?
Monday's a holiday.
Monday's a holiday, Monday.
Would have to be Thursday.
I can do Thursday as well.
It's the 20th.
I can't do it any earlier than 5 on Thursday.
No, it can be late on Thursday.
Oh, okay.
5 o'clock.
Wednesday is, I'm pretty sure is fine as well.
He's out.
Oh, sorry. Wednesday's not good.
Classes are 3 to 6. If you line up the 6, then
How about early? Can we do it?
I was gonna say earlier. I
Wednesday, 10.
9? I don't care.
can do 9. I'm good with 9.
I left my phone in the car and I wasn't gonna go back out in the rain to get it. I'm pretty sure I'm probably okay on Wednesday, but I'll have to look. I don't babysit on Wednesday, so.
I can't.
No,
You
Wednesday
can't.
completely. That's
I
fine.
didn't- yeah.
Those are my long days.
Thursday, what?
Thursday days does not work for Director Johnson.
So
If you want me to bring Leon, I will, but
the 18th, nobody's available
18th at 5
Tuesday.
in the morning.
in the morning.
if it's very quick, I could bring Leon. He can survive for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
15 minutes
Yes.
max, I would think.
I'll bring a bottle.
How old is he?
He's 1.
Well, that's fine.
I can bring my 20-year-old to help.
I mean, serious, if it's just a short one, I mean, if you guys don't mind, I don't care.
What time
I don't mind.
Tuesday are we talking about?
Adidas,
Like-
what's your availability in the mornings?
Tuesday after 10 o'clock. Not too late.
Tuesday, the 18th at 10 a.m. Director Costello, does that work for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Director Lasia?
As long as you don't want me to go with you.
That's up to you.
Yeah, I guess that'll work for me.
Tuesday at 10. Tomorrow.
Well, you said after 10. Does that mean you
10.
have someplace until 10 and you gotta drive here or?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
10:30 or 11, 10.
Actually, I'd prefer after 12 noon if that's possible.
That makes it hard on you.
Well, I
Yeah.
just don't want to impose. I'm very flexible, but 12 is like I lose my whole day of
Yeah.
work.
Okay.
But I know it's hard to accommodate everybody,
What about
but
Thursday at 5?
Right. How late can you do it on Thursday, on Tuesday?
On Tuesday?
I mean, how
Uh,
early?
How late or how early?
how late?
Yeah,
I
how
don't
early?
I have class at 3, so.
If we're done by like 10 o'clock in the morning, I'm good with that. We want to do it early in the morning.
I'm good early.
Are you able to do it that early?
Thanks.
Let's have somebody at
I think so, yeah.
11:15, so I have somebody at 11:15.
What day?
So 10 o'clock it is, Tuesday the 18th?
Or you want to?
Or we can do it at 9.
So why don't we do it at 9? That way,
I'm good
the-
at
No,
9.
Director Godinez can do 9.
9:45.
9:45.
And
You can do 9:45.
Okay,
9:45, we should be done by 10.
by 10?
Yeah, that's fine, 9:45.
it's not gonna be very long.
Should not be very long.
So 9:45 in the morning
The
on
8th.
Tuesday, the 18th.
Okay.
Special meeting.
Yes. Be posted tomorrow morning because of the holiday week to post.
Bob, does that work for you?
Sure.
Oh, we didn't ask. Bob.
Who's bringing the coffee? I didn't know.
Well, I will have coffee for you, no donuts.
Bob is-
Gonna die. Okay.
No, we don't want donuts, we're omelet bar in.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I'm taking this pin with me, by the way, I already.
That's 9:45 next Tuesday morning.
Yep. Appreciate it.
9:45.
9:45.
Was it?
All right.
I don't know if you want me to do that today or not. Good, Dick.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. There was a, thank you. We hosted it here.
You wanna go ahead and?
Totally forgot.
All board member comments are done?
No, he's. gives up.
Yeah, that's why we ended up scheduling
Okay.
the meeting.
All right. On the 31st, we had our first interagency council meeting of the year. We had it here. It was a nice event. I'm going to do this quickly and briefly. The Rubendale Community Services District, they have new AMI water meters. The first 5,000 are being installed now, and they're going for a grant for the rest of the next 2,000. It won't affect you if you're not a Rubendale Community Services District member. They are looking for completion by the end of the year on the new pumping station at Golden West. And all their 800 streetlights in their district have been upgraded to LEDs. This one I don't like, Rubendale Community Services District mentioned that the 42-gallon limit per household is now law, and we all have.
I'm sorry, the what? The 4th?
Anyway, there's law now that there's a 42-gallon.
Proposed law.
Well, it says it is now law, but there's 2 years to implement it and apply. 42 gallons per household is just a ridiculously low number. I don't know who came up with that, but
Per
I-
person.
Oh, per person.
says per household, but okay. CAL FIRE did a great job with all the fires going on. They not only supported the Eaton and Palisade fires, they had no staffing issues here to cover emergencies. And during that time handled 1,722 calls. So Riverside County knows how to do things LA County cannot. Our new county supervisor, the representative is Mr. Aaron Dill. State Assembly, our new representative here is Ms. Madison Baca. And for Senator Cervantes, Colin will continue to be our representative, which is great. He's a resident of the city, so he's a good person to have. During the blackouts, the VFW Comfort Center served over 1,500 people during that time. It still, in my view, was not adequate for the city, and we need more comfort facilities to handle future problems. The Chamber of Commerce added 40 new members with 15 ribbon cuttings last year. And for those who wish to attend, the mayor's prayer breakfast is scheduled for May 1st. The city announced that Target is scheduled to open in July. And as we all know, the rodeo is back on the schedule for the first weekend in June. And our next meeting will be on March 28th at the Rubendale Fire Station. And if there's any other questions, like I said, I want to get through this fast because it's getting a little bit late.
Any
Thank you.
questions? No?
All right, great.
Upcoming meetings, February 27th and March 13th. And with that, I will adjourn the regular meeting and we will recess back into closed session.
Technically, you don't adjourn the regular meeting, you just reconvene to closed session, after which you'll come out and then adjourn the meeting.
Got it. We will reconvene back into closed session at 7.
Who's got this look on her face like, wait, what? I hadn't expected that.
Sorry, Diane.
I'm trying to make it quick.
So I want to go home too. There's the 6:15.
Out there?
6:30, it's raining again.
Bob, are you gonna stick around with us or?
Not if you don't want me to.
I think we're okay.
I will if You do want me to.
But you're welcome to, it's either way.
Oh, did we want to ask him that question about what I brought up to you earlier today?
Why don't we can do that quickly? Yes, everybody else on here? Oh, let me stop the live feed. I'm sorry.